One of the challenges, right, is not just merely to think about what is the basis for human value and dignity, and Genesis chapter 1, 26, 27, the image of God answers that, but also the big challenge for secularism is to explain why human beings go wrong in so many ways. I mean, you look at contemporary history, you look at history per se, and you discover very quickly, don't you, that no matter how much economics or politics or science or education, healthcare, it doesn't matter, you can pump all of that stuff in, you do not arrive at utopias. And it's interesting, history sort of replays itself. You know, we get these periods of peace and stability, and we think, great, we've arrived, and then something awful happens. Most recent example would be Putin invading Ukraine. You know, I think we thought we'd arrived at utopia, and then we had the pandemic, and we had Putin within a couple of years at each other. And it turns out human beings are very good at being beastly to each other. So what's going on? Well, I think what's interesting, when we talk about the image of God, inherent in the idea of image is the idea of reflection. And I think the biblical idea is that we were created to image God, so to reflect God to the world. The rest of creation was intended to look at human beings and see something of God reflected. And the thing is, if you choose not to angle the mirror of your soul at God, you're going to put something else in its place. You're going to worship something else other than God. For many of us, that's going to be things like, career, sex, money, power, image. And the trouble is, when you make those things central, you actually end up destroying yourself and destroying others, because you become desperate for that thing that you're worshipping, and you need more and more of it, like an addict, to give your life purpose and meaning. And that's when so much of human violence and sinfulness flow out. All of us are worshipping beings. There is no not worshipping option for humanity. The question is, what are you going to worship? And the beauty of the Christian faith is when our lives are orientated correctly and God is in his right place, that doesn't just restore our vertical relationship, that should also pour over into our horizontal relationship with our neighbours around us. So the image of God, again, absolutely central, both for who we are and how we treat our neighbour.